It's okay. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego diary politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. Man of the masses, my ego don't come, oh, my ego
Hello there.
My ego now I'm on,
You're all welcome back. So good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live.
What did you say?
Please read the caption of this broadcast. The description of the broadcast as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun today. With the news coming from the northern part of Nigeria, I think the situation of them not having electricity is more there. It's more like severe than reported. It should actually be a national emergency in Nigeria as we speak. I have seen videos of people in distress. I have seen businesses that are going like bad. Even though some people are asking that, listen, even if there is no light if there's no electricity in northern Nigeria, what happened to electricity generator, be electric generator, where you can use that as an alternative power? I've seen a business that has gone really bad, a cold room fish business. There is a supposed meeting. In fact, they call it a breaking news. They said that thiefnubu called the power minister, Messi, as well as Ribadol, to come and explain what's going on, and they call it breaking news. Now they've promised that they plan to restore power in 5 days. Well, the problem is not really going anywhere. So, thank you so much. Read the caption, read the description, like it, share it, and invite everyone that should be here. We're starting soon. Thank you. And what today? So we are starting tonight's broadcast from the news of one of the supposed national tragedy, which has bedeviled the northern part of Nigeria, and it is the story of the out-of-school children, the Almajiri scene. APC, Ebekebe, one of them actually bragged a while back before everything scattered between them. And I am talking about Kwakwansop, the former governor of Kano State, when he was bragging about how they used the Almajiri to chase Jonathan away. According to him, we used the Almajiri, right, to vote Jonathan out. These are mostly the underage children, underage voters that were given voters cards under Jega when Jonathan was running for second term in Nigeria. We saw videos, we saw pictures of these underage children voting for APC, Egbekegbe, and that was Bokwari as president. Now, 8 years after, the figure has doubled, almost tripled now. From record, it was said that across Nigeria, pre-2015, that the number of out-of-school children across the entire country was put at 6.5 million out-of-school children, where 80% of these children were from northern part of Nigeria, scattered across the northern part of Nigeria. These are children of the supposed poor people whose parents can no longer take care of them, and they are now left in the care of clerics, Islamic clerics in northern Nigeria. In fact, talking about Almajiri scene, Goodluck Jonathan's government had a program for them, which was to send them to school. It was meant to be, the story is that, or the background story is that the Almajiri system in northern Nigeria is where abandoned children, mostly by their poor parents, are given to Muslim Islamic clerics in northern Nigeria. But these Islamic clerics who can barely take care of these children, we now send them out on a begging spree. They will give them bowls to be begging for alms. And they say it is Islamic for people to have, for an Islamic society to have poor people, while those well-to-do are to help them by giving them alms, right? So this money will be given to their cleric afar at the end of the day. And this is supposedly the money they will use in taking care of them. And also, the afar in return will teach them Quran, how to read and possibly write in Arabic. So it's like a trade by barter of a thing. The children would have to fend for themselves. In most cases, these afars can't really take care of these children. In fact, the money, the proceeds from begging that was supposed to be used in taking care of them, totally meant for the cleric and his own family. So some of these children are mostly left uneducated, like totally. So Jonathan had a program to send them to school. He started building schools across northern part of Nigeria. On record, Jonathan's government built over 10,000 schools, like classrooms everywhere, all over the north. And these children were supposed to go to the school, and at the same time, they will learn. They will learn about the Western education, how to read and write, and then they will also learn the Quranic version, which is the primary reason why they were given to their cleric affairs. So in 2014, the APC, Egbekebe, decided to rubbish that program. In fact, it was one of the campaign strategy of the campaign of terror of Boko Haram, where they said that Boko Haram, some of these schools were bombed, destroyed, and warnings were given by the Boko Haram that those children must never go to those schools again. In fact, there were still, communities where received warnings from Boko Haram that they must not send their children to those schools. So by 2014, 2015, by 2015 precisely, most of those children were back on the street, and they were the willing tool for the APC, Egbekebe, that have already, brought close to the border of Nigeria, different kind of terrorists to invade Nigeria in case if Jonathan failed to hand over power to them or concede in the coming election. So one of them later confessed, like I said, Kwakwanso, that they had to use the children to chase Jonathan away. So to make the matter worse, in 8 years of Boko Haram, not a single school, a single classroom was erected for these children. The number tripled, not just doubled, it tripled. Today, it is believed that across Nigeria, they now have over 20 million out of school children. It's now a pandemic. So today, there was an announcement that thiefnubu's daughter will now be the ambassador for the Almajiris, as well as the out-of-school children in Nigeria. I didn't even know they have Almajiri commission until today. Maybe I didn't know, but just never took it serious. So Folashade Tinubu as Ni Ojo something, that's her name. So Folashade Tinubu will now be the ambassador for the out-of-school children in Nigeria, as well as the Almajiris. So a commission that was supposed to be in their care has appointed her. Their belief was that maybe she can use a good office to help or get the government to help these children to get education and possibly take them off the streets. The out-of-school children as well, right? To possibly get them education. There is no real plan for them, sincerely, all right? But that is what the news said. And I kind of dug further. I didn't see anything other than the daughter of a kleptomaniac who is also the Iyaloja general, the title that she ceremoniously given to herself, that she is meant to be the Iyaloja of Lagos, the title she inherited from her father's adopted mother, Abibatu Mogaji. So in some places, people don't really recognize her as the Iyaloja of anywhere other than Lagos. But she walks about and changed the title from Iyaloja of Lagos to Iyaloja General of Nigeria, as well as the first daughter of Nigeria. You see, this title doesn't really exist per se, but they've created their own office for her. The office is the office of the first daughter of Nigeria. So the Almajiri Commission believes that maybe, making her the ambassador for the out-of-school children in Nigeria could actually be a blessing that will get our father's regime to show mercy to these out-of-school children. Everyone talks about them a lot, but nobody really has any plan for them. because according to the politicians from northern Nigeria, the Almajiris, they are very much useful, uneducated for political, for political advantage, so to say. And every Almajiri you see in northern part of Nigeria may not have education, but they always have a voter's card. They may be underage, but they always have voter's card. And they use them like many others for election. And immediately after the elections, right, they are abandoned. In Abuja, as we speak, Wike is doing his best to raid them. Yesterday happened to be the last day given to the Almajiris, the beggars in FCT, because they are becoming an embarrassment to Nigeria, according to Wike. So the number of beggars in northern Nigeria, which is the Almajiris, as well as the older ones, many of them, if you see some of these street beggars, they are not children, right? Even majority of them are children, okay? They are not children, but they have been Almajiris all their lives. No government really care for them, except when they want to prop them up for political exigencies, so to say, like political advantage. So the belief is, if Folashade can talk to her father that, Daddy, I am now the ambassador of the Almajiris, maybe we should do something for them. And in my own findings, it's obvious. APC, Egbekegbe, have no plan for education in Nigeria. They never had any education plan for Nigeria. Not to talk of the out-of-school children. There will be more out-of-school adults, out-of-school children, out-of-school students in the coming months and years as well, as they are doing everything to take away education from the poorest in Nigeria. It's unfortunate, right, that the APC, Egbekegbe, that called Jonathan clueless, have ended up destroying what should have been the real foundation of any country. Education. Educate your children. Educate those who are supposed to be the leaders of tomorrow. But they didn't. They had no plan of educating them. And if you look at it very well, in southern part of Nigeria, education is like so valuable. But today, it has also been destroyed. We also have out-of-school children number in the southern part of Nigeria that has also not just doubled or tripled. It has quadrupled. When you begin to check the figure, right, today, in southern part of Nigeria, especially in the southwest part of Nigeria, Yoruba land, we have over 3 million out-of-school children across the Yoruba land. And guess what? 1.8 million of them, they are in Lagos alone. Can you believe that? They did a census and they said that the population of Lagos is put at over 22 million. Do you know that 10%, nearly 10% of that are children that are out of school, not in school, as we speak? So same goes for other states in Yoruba land, Ogun, Oyo, Osun, Ondo, even Kwara. And these are data that cannot be disputed. Okay, more and more people are choosing between, feeding their children than sending them to school now. Okay, because it has become more like, public schools where you used to be affordable or almost free in Yoruba land, but they are not anymore. So parents are choosing to, like, why should I send my child to school when I could barely feed them as well? So since thiefnubu now came, so remember that Agberoism is one of the legacies of thiefnubu, right? Even those who went to school today, who have become more jobless, they are joining the the political thuggery, called the Agberoism as we speak across Yoruba land. Yeah, you see somebody who used to be graduate, but has been so jobless for so long that is only surviving on on the street, extorting the people or even robbing them. So if a government, a supposed political party, they were supposed to be progressive, which they are not, and as well as the group of chancers, opportunists, who continue to brandish the name of Awolowo this, Awolowo that, are doing everything they can to destroy the same legacy of the old man, the later sage Awolowo, where more and more people are abandoning schools, not because they wanted to. It is simply because they can no longer afford sending their children to school. So, using Folashade as the poster girl for the Almajiri scene, simply my conclusion is that there is no way out. As we have more out of school children today, we should be looking forward to having more. Because a government that should have plans for education, but they do not have. I mean, do you really think propping up the daughter of thiefnubu will now be will now be an encouragement for the government to now have a plan for education, so to say? So same thing goes for what is going on in northern Nigeria today, especially if we all flash back to about 2 years ago, talking about towards the end of 2022, when they were pushing their Muslim tickets. See, there are those, this one is not complicated, but it may sound like complicated. You see, there were Muslims who felt like it was a wrong and very terrible idea to have a Muslim ticket in a country that is meant to be so secular, a secular country that people have, almost 50-50 of these religions, as they say, right? For you to promote Muslim tickets, it will never bring unity or anything at all to a country that is already so divided. Yeah. But unfortunately, there were Christians who actually defended it. Yeah, the supposed Christians, they defended this, vehemently, violently, by saying that, it is nothing. Today, the northern criminal politicians are pushing for Sharia, while their own region is dying. Even though some will say, well, they deserve it, but I don't think the people really deserves it. Yeah, you may have your own plausible argument about this, because in northern Nigeria, 2 years ago, people who were not supporting this Muslim ticket of APC, they were considered as infidels, in fact, enemies of the North. It was so bad, right, that people were being attacked, right, for opposing this Muslim ticket, because they believe, especially this cleric, as well as some of these terrorist sponsor, like, some of these terrorist sponsor in northern Nigeria, these clerics, these jihadists, they call different meetings where they said one Muslim is great, 2 Muslims is like, the greatest. So when they were pushing their Muslim agenda, today they are crying. This is not to say that they won't do it again and again. Or no, we'll get to that one, get to that part afterward. All right. So today, the northern Nigeria is not just bleeding, it is burning. I'm talking about economically, they are dying. And this is not even a banter, it is reality. Despite all of this, most of these Sharia sponsor, the Sharia sponsor terrorists from northern Nigeria, they want to impose Sharia on the rest of Nigeria. Do you know that for the past 15 days, more than 2 weeks now, they've not had electricity in northern part of Nigeria? You see, this may sound like, how is that possible? It is possible, it is true. Okay. They said the line, the something like, a particular electricity line or so, or power line that was supposed to take power from Kaduna to somewhere or so, has been broken for weeks now. That's even when Nigeria National Grid was collapsing, like epileptic at the time, they were like pure dead in northern Nigeria. How could 19 states from northern part of Nigeria plus the middle belt have no electricity? Kaduna, Plateau, Borno, Sokoto, Kano, but they had no electricity, like zilch. And they felt abandoned. It was like, you could say, oh, they never really have much power in Nigeria, so to say. But we're talking about total darkness. And it is not like, okay, these ones have electricity, only those ones, I mean, this particular side have, this one didn't have. And no, like 100% zilch, darkness. I'll show you this video. See, this video of a supposed fish businessman or woman who's we're rotting away as we speak, simply because there is no electricity to power it. I took out the audio from this, but take a look. Yeah, I had to take out the audio because, you know, I can't be dealing with this copyright of tune as it is, right? I can imagine as well the smell. So you see these frozen food businesses in northern Nigeria, they are taking the heat now. Yeah, they are taking the heat. And people are asking questions online. So it's like you should have a backup generator if you are running a frozen food business, as it should be. So what does that mean if you have to like wait for over 2 weeks, wait for your business to go that bad? Now, I can't answer that question, but I just gave you an evidence of what it is like. Maybe not all of them, but what people are saying is that how much is the liter of petroleum? How much do you think they've spent on petrol before they couldn't afford it anymore? While they were waiting for the electricity to be, you know, to be brought back. One of the things that is killing businesses right now is the fact that many businesses can no longer afford to run their generators. Yeah, they can't afford it. It's pretty much like you run out of your running capital. Yeah, just buying petrol, and it has gotten to a stage where you yourself just like, I can only afford to have off-fuel my generator temporarily until the electricity is back. But if you do not have electricity for 2 weeks, you probably will be already out of your running costs. And if you are unable to power your cold room for 2-3 days, that's it. And this is plausible. It's an argument that is actually like a plausible to say, oh, I didn't think of that. This is not about having generator anymore. Things have gotten so bad that even businesses that operate on generators are folding up. Like they are just folding up to say, well, you know what? Until we find another alternative of power, so we can't continue this business anymore. A situation where you have to kind of spend over 40,000 naira every day. But there's a stretch you can go. There's distance you can go. This is what the situation is in northern Nigeria. And they are making videos to show to the rest of Nigeria that, man, schools, hospitals, there are hospitals where some certain things have to be, you must have electricity to preserve them. There are some medication, there are some drugs that you need electricity to preserve them. Now, most of these things are going bad. So according to them as well, when their governors met, when they met today, as well as their royal fathers, they believe that the cost of living as well, a bag of rice in northern part of Nigeria is now being reported to be over 1,000, over 130,000 naira. Remember that time where the Miyetti Allah used to threaten the southern part of Nigeria of food blockade if we make laws to stop the Fulani and their cows moving into our farms and all that in the southern part of Nigeria. Remember that food blockade? But there is not even food now to feed anybody because no one can really afford any real food anymore in northern Nigeria. I remember when Niger State said they were growing food, they were growing this, they were growing that, and they had trucks. And they even said that all the traders from southern part of Nigeria will not be sold any food anymore, right? Because they needed the food in their own place to subsidize the food or sell the food at 50% discount and all that stuff. But I realize all that is still unable to save them. Hunger in northern part of Nigeria right now is unbelievable. Like, we've always been kind of aware of the level of poverty in northern part of Nigeria, but this time around it's unbearable. It's unbelievable. But there are criminal politicians who met today. They are asking thiefnubu to do something. What do you think he will do? Send them rice, Abi? That's the most thiefnubu can do. So he called his minister of power as well as Rebadol today. And here is what Peculiar Mess had to say, Bekelemes.
My meeting with Mr. President, among various other things, included the issue of the disturbance in electricity supply to the northern part of Nigeria, about 17 states. We discussed the root cause of this, which was basically due to vandalization of the transmission lines of a Shiroro-Kaduna line, which is the major line that supply electricity to the north. And the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, they already set out to fix this line. What they have asked for, which is being provided to them now, is the security cover of the National Security Advisor through the Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Air Staff to enable them restore the damaged lines. And we're optimistic that very soon this will be fully restored. We have also explored the alternative line of providing light to the north through the Iko-Tepene substation supplied from the Calabar plant, but the line got caught along the line, and we're also trying to fix that. And if you remember that at the last FEC, one of the approvals for the Ministry of Power was actually the upgrade of the Shiroro-Kaduna transmission line, which is the major line that supplies electricity to the northern part of the country. We already have approval for this. It's one of the oldest transmission lines that we have in Nigeria, and we believe that it required an upgrade. And through the magnanimity of the Mr. President and the Federal Executive Council, we got an approval to fix the line on a permanent basis. Once this is done, I believe that power to the north will be more stable than we're experiencing right now. But before I end this, let me also state that the world is moving. This is the 21st century, and we believe that the most effective way of supplying uninterrupted, functional, stable, and reliable electricity to the northern part of Nigeria is through our distributed power model, whereby each of the northern states will have an embedded utility solar scale solar source. All the 20 states will be insulated and immune from each other. Once we have, and we have actually made progress in this, as we have interested contractors and financiers that are ready to install 100 megawatts each for each of the 20 northern states, which is scalable to 50 megawatts at first, then upgraded to 100 megawatts. When we have this, the power supply to the north will be reliable because of the advantage of sun that they have, where solar will be highly effective. The lowest number of hours that a state in the north enjoy in terms of sunshine is 10 hours.
This is what they say to people when they are lying to them. Okay? It is like somebody like me saying, oh, now that there is no electricity in northern Nigeria, I think this is the time they have to use solar. We need to explore alternative energy. Okay? We need to tap from the sun and generate electricity in another way. Because see, all this Shiruro Kaduna line destroyed by the Boko Haram terrorists. So we are having problem with that. So I think it's, meanwhile, I'm the Minister of Power. I have been there for more than a year as minister, okay? I didn't explore the alternative energy for that 1 year. But now that they've not had electricity for 2 weeks, so to sound like I am intelligent, I can now tell you that, I mean, it's time, the world is moving on. So we need to invest in alternative energy so that, you see, we can tap from the sun. Can you believe that in northern Nigeria, they have 10 hours of sun every day? Yes. I said, oh, really? Did they? Yeah. So right now, we are trying to give each state 100 megawatts. Yes, 100 megawatts of solar energy. Where is that? In which state? Yeah, 100. That's 2,000 megawatts. We are already talking to some investors that are going to give them 100 megawatts. Ironic. There is no investor building any 1 megawatt anywhere. But you quickly have to have that. Before Mr. President has approved, and yeah, when are you going to now give them the, because that should be like 2,000 megawatts for northern Nigeria. That alone will probably give them 24 hours electricity. So tell us, which state have you started building this megawatts of solar energy? No, we're talking to some, we will make sure that alone, we insulate the northern Nigeria from all this issue of electricity. And I said, how come you haven't done it? How come? If you have not completed it, have you started it? And where are you right now? All talks. But yeah, we're trying to get a Kotekpene power plant to transfer that to the north. But unfortunately, that one also cuts. The line cuts. There is no power for you in northern Nigeria. If you are watching me from the north, there is no electricity for you. With thiefnubu and that's a peculiar mess, penkele mess, you are likely going to still be out of power for the next 1 month. Things are going to, somebody said that, oh, Mayegun, you are talking about the cold room for frozen food. What about mortuaries? Mortuaries where they keep dead body. You go, soon they see some of them. They go to ask you to come and carry your dead body to bury. Right now, I don't think there are probably many mortuaries in northern part of Nigeria, but there will be some because of the what do you call it, the Christians and other religions that are not Muslim. Because if you're a Muslim, if it's in northern Nigeria is a place where you don't play with fainting. If you go faint for northern Nigeria, they go bury you. If anybody say, oh, now faint, you never die, oh. In northern Nigeria is a place where if you are a Muslim and you go faint because you are hungry, you go faint, they go believe say you are dead, they go bury you before 12 noon. So they won't use burial ground. I mean, they don't use the mortuary. I don't think that's very popular. But for other religions, right, who probably embalm their own, who embalm their own uh, 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 corpses and all that. So that makes sense. So the whole thing cuts across. Right now, some of them are now on social media telling us that they regret believing in the Muslim ticket. Some are even saying that it's like a thiefnubu hates them so much. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think so. You just have to believe in him, no matter what. You just have to keep believing that whatever this is, it is just a baby step or a bump along the line, or you can continue to thank God that an infidel is not your president in that place, as it is. I empathize. I really do. I empathize with a lot of people there who possibly did their best to reject this their evil Muslim ticket that never really going to serve anybody. I empathize with you. But for these two, this one don't go report say in plane, you don't get fought. Shitty man. Okay, need another plane. Oh. Need another plane. Oh. My life is at risk. Oh. I need another plane. That's what Shitty man was telling thiefnubu there. My own illustration or my own, by reading their lips. That's what he's saying. Okay, I need another plane. Ashiwaju, my life is at risk. My plane, there's problem in New York. I need another one. As long as you see the two, whatever your problem is in northern Nigeria, I am just going to say you will need to be patient. Yeah, you need to exercise patience so that, and then for your criminal political leaders, they are about to politicize it. And some people are saying, we will not let them do that. This thiefnubu and it's a shege that you killed people for, you attacked people for, you threaten a lot of people for, right? You will enjoy it to the fullest. So from my own findings, right, even though Rebadol and then this peculiar mess, the two of them said they met, and the only problem is to provide security for the people that are the engineers that are supposed to come and fix the power line. So it will take them 5 days. So if they succeed, you may partially have electricity in some part of northern Nigeria, but not everywhere. But if that gets delayed in a typical way, it may last for another 1 month. You may not see electricity. And somebody said, well, that is going to be the stroke that is going to break the camel's back. And I am like, well, we shall see if it is going to break anything at all. It's probably going to be the neck of the Momo ticket proponents, right? So let's leave that for now. Now, yesterday, the news of the death of Igbo Jah in Enugu, killed by this police officer. Now, his killer has been arrested. He has been dismissed. According to the police reports, this officer, Inspector Ozonwaji Joseph, that's the name of this guy that shot Igbo Jah 8 times in the back after he was invited to come and perform for the anti-cultist policemen in Enugu. And we also have the record of his last performance for these police officers in Enugu. So he initially claimed that the shooting was an accidental discharge. But the police have found out that no, this is not accidental discharge. Accidental discharge means you shot him maybe once, fatally. But you shot him 8 times. That can be accidental. So he has now been dismissed from the police force so as for them to release him for trial, which is going to be murder trial. He's now going to be tried for murder. Igbo Jah's last moments before his death is this. To remind you, that was him at the police headquarters in Enugu, where he was invited to perform for these police officers. Everything was fine. There was no reason for any form of shooting or what have you. But he got killed moments later. That was his last performance. Moments later, he was fatally shot 8 times. Today, he is no more. But the Enugu state governments have sort of also taken it upon themselves to adopt his children. So a delegation was sent to his family house today to inform them of the position of the government and the governor, or the position of the governor and the government, briefly.
First of all, what happened to our brother Igbo Jah happened to every indigene of Enugu state. And because our governor, feelings of other persons, he has sent me here this morning to make some presentations to you people. Number one, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Petrol, in his magnanimity, he had awarded scholarship to the children of Igbo Jah to university level. Secondly, the state is going to take care of the welfare of Mrs. Igbo Jah going forward. So when we are done here, and also this is a serious calamity to everybody who loves Enugu State and who is an indigenous of Enugu State. I know that the government of Enugu State is on top of the matter, and they are going to make sure that justice prevails in this matter.
So that's supposed to be the representatives of the Enugu State's government. Right. Remember what happened this afternoon? Yeah, when Alex, what's his name again? Yeah, Alex, the honorable guy that beat up the boat driver or the boat delivery guy last night, and then he had him arrested until this got escalated. So the news later was that he has been arrested, or we later found out that no, he wasn't. In fact, just as I predicted, they started the media spin and then the media support to spin the story in his favor. We have started seeing people who are telling us that the driver provoked him. He provoked him. In fact, there is a particular one that said the only hardworking House of Representative member from Abia State is this guy, Alex Mascot. That some bad Pele people set him up. We saw the video. We saw where he was assaulting this driver. But they are now changing the story to the driver provoked him. Okay? And it is because they wanted to destroy him. Another one was that, oh, he was the guy, one of those that opposed the Samoa Agreement. You remember that Samoa Agreement? Yeah, that one that was like Nigeria would have to allow homosexuals and all of that stuff. Remember? They said because he opposed the Samoa Agreement, that is why they set him up. I was like, what is really going on? Yeah, it is the typical Nigerians. So his statements during the debate on the Samoa deal or Samoa Agreement is to be replayed here. Listen.
Ikweche. And I represent the artisanal people of Aba North and Aba South in this incorruptible assembly. Mr. Speaker, I would like to speak very briefly about some of the contents of this Samoa agreement. Mr. Speaker, this agreement has certain clauses that happens to be in variance with our way of life. We are Africans, we are not Westerners. We have our laws, we have our way of life, we have our way of doing things. And as far as I'm concerned, this issue of human rights, which Nigeria does not in any way violate, should not be implicitly enshrined into this agreement, and members representing the people. This is the people's house. This is the people's parliament. We stand here in my own right. I represent over 1.something million people from Aba, and I have been told that this particular human rights clause happens to be reprehensible, abominable, and we do not intend to stand for it. Do I speak the minds of my people here? Yes. So, Mr. Speaker, we cannot continue to do things that do not align or that is... Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
We cannot continue to engage in contrived way of governance, cosmetic way of running government. Let us focus on the issues that matter. Our people are hungry.
Yes.
Our people are starving.
Yes.
People cannot buy food. There is insecurity. There is no light in the country. Industries are not growing. Let us tell ourselves the truth. Why are we here talking about LGBT, GTBT, whatever? Let us concentrate on the issues that matter. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Speaker, our people are not interested in this. So let us step it down. Let us close it. Let us forget everything about it. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
This was re-uploaded by those who are now saying that it was a setup. I don't want to replay the video, so to say. So if you haven't seen it, I kind of encourage you to watch the brunch time with Mayegun earlier today, or you can even look it up online as well. All right. So there is someone who has something to say about what thiefnubu said decision, right, has brought upon the rest of Nigeria. It is Almajiri, the former power minister in Nigeria. Okay. I just want to add it before we continue here.
Let me tell you, for example, the issue of petroleum subsidy. I don't think the subsidy was the issue. It was the corruption that surrounded it. Because a lot of people knew how many people that were hounded by EFCC some time ago that brought papers that they imported petroleum products, and they didn't. Some brought in papers that they had a shipload, and no ship was berthing. So when you look at all those issues of corruption surrounding it, and then you threw the baby with the bathwater, that's what we are suffering today. Now, the issue of the exchange rate, which is also very, very fundamental, and in fact, more fundamental than the issue of the subsidy. To say that you are merging the two exchange rates without studying the dynamics, the president just made that pronouncement, a populist one, on the first day, without preparation. And when he found that it was not right, given the pain it's causing to the country and the Nigerians, he's supposed to have retraced, rather than continue to insist that when he is done, Nigerians will come and thank him. Who is going to be alive to thank him? Many people are very, very, very impoverished now. Even the so-called rich are crying. So I don't think the policies are indicative of deep thinking. And it's necessary that they should go and do rethinking. Leadership qualities, leadership styles, all of them must resonate with the people in the sense of the feelings the people have that the leadership is listening to their yearnings and aspirations, is responsive and sensitive to their pains, and finding solutions to their problems, not cosmetic things. It is only a leader that is out to cheat, not to lead, that lies, grandstands, and then somehow descend to autocracy when it appears that the people seem not to be agreeing with him or her, as the case may be. Okay. So I think there is merit in some of the agitations of the former leaders, including Obasanjo. Like I said, everybody had his own time. One way or the other, they had their own problem too.
Yes,
but
sir.
You must listen to their own, because some of these things are coming now from the experience they have had.
So
and some of them are also
outcomes
of the regrets they have.
Because according to the Ronukus, this is what Nigeria should be like. That you are able to afford food. Before thiefnubu was a fake life. I don't know if this is just online in case of those of you who are offline, I mean, like, you can tell what people say offline, Abby, because online, I have seen the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the Lagos Abobakus, Oshogbo Almajiris, the Bastard and the Bat Idiots, the Agbadorians and co. I have seen them posted online that this suffering, this economic downturn, is actually what Nigeria should be like. That over time, let's say in another 10 years, all of you would have become so used to this real, because this is the real life. This is the, this is what life should be like for everybody. Instead of what it was, okay? Because that former life that you had, where you had a car and you could just go straight, drive into a filling station, buy fuel, drive around, go here and there, do your things. It was fake life. And Nigeria didn't have the money. Nigeria is a poor country. You are not supposed to be having a car when you are not supposed to have a car. So if you had a car and you can no longer drive it, it simply means that you are living a fake life when you put money together to buy that car. Now that you can't afford to fuel the car, it is to show you that you are living a fake life before. If you are able to feed yourself, feed your family, but now you are struggling, that time you are feeding your family, that's fake life. Thanks to thiefnubu, it is thiefnubu's policy now that is showing everybody that they live fake life then. Okay? That today, the filling stations, petrol stations, are currently lamenting that nobody is patronizing them anymore. So therefore, they would have to sack some of their staff. Because, they have the fuel, but they can't sell. Because some of you can't afford to buy the fuel anymore. They are complaining. The Ronuku says, yeah, this time when people were able to afford the petroleum at 185 naira, 167 naira, those times were fake lives because Nigeria was subsidizing it for you. Now, it's only those who genuinely have what it takes to buy fuel should be buying fuel. Businesses that are unable to buy fuel, they were operating fake business back then. So nobody should complain. This is the confirmation that the lunatics have taken over the asylum. You know the saddest part? Some of those who are pushing these narratives, they don't live in Nigeria. That's the saddest. Because I have actually checked some of them, they are not living in Nigeria. And you see those ones who are living in Nigeria that are always commenting, thank you, Jare. I told my neighbor, even my neighbor that used to own a generator almost 24/7. Now he cannot own the. These are sadist, mentally disturbed people. Their neighbor was able to own generator because there is no electricity. Now that neighbor can no longer turn on his generator and he's happy because according to him, his neighbor was living a fake life when he was buying a liter of petroleum for 167 naira and he could put on his generator when there is no electricity. That was fake life. This is now the real life. Their neighbors can no longer afford generator. Their neighbors can no longer fuel their cars. They don't have cars. So why should you have car? Why should you turn on generator? If there's no electricity, let everybody stay in the dark. So now that only thiefnubu and his cronies the criminal politicians are the only people who can afford petroleum, who can afford this, Abi. So the rest of you living that fake life, you need to accept this reality now, so that thiefnubu can save all of you. Because Nigeria can no longer afford to allow you to be having generator or to be having a cars. Why do you need a car? You're supposed to use your leg. Then, you know, if you cannot afford, you know, jumping Okada, then let's walk. It gives you fitness. What about businesses then? Well, anybody that can patronize any business should patronize them. If you don't have money to patronize any business, we're fine. At least people are still doing Owambe every weekend. People are still going to club now. Those ones who are still going to club, very soon they won't be able to go, so that they can tell them that you are wasting money. You are wasting this and that. That is why you are able to go to a club. When people can barely feed, whatever you are doing that is giving you the money to afford to go to a club, don't worry. Very soon, you won't be able to go to that club. And then your fake life too will end. This is the mental health issue right now. That people who have been subjected to this economic torture are believing that thiefnubu's reform is going to change everything later. That everybody will become equal. From that equality, people will stop complaining. So you know that once you are in the dark for so long, you will no longer fear hallucination and the rest of that. Because according to them, this is it. A bag of rice is now 120,000 naira. Must you eat rice? Must you? Rice is not our food. Eronuku told me that. Yeah. Is it the fault of thiefnubu that you cannot afford rice? Must you eat rice? 50% of private hospitals are shut down. But do you need hospital? Then go to the public hospital. But the public hospitals are like, you know, glorified mortuaries. No. The last time my wife wanted to give birth, do you know how much I pay at a general hospital? Only 200 naira I paid. Really? Yes. So we are our own problem. We don't have the money. Nigeria doesn't have that money, that kind of money for people to be saying they are going to private hospital. Nigeria is not that rich. thiefnubu is the one showing everybody now that Nigeria is not rich. That's what these lunatics are saying. It's scary. I have seen them. That's why I'm asking you that. Is it the same like offline? Because I need to know. I have people who have said that instead of buying petrol, why don't you just go and do a solar system? But see, when they sleep inside darkness every day, is online telling you that you should go and do solar power. I have a lot of people who have told me that anyway, that they are now using solar power. Yeah, things don't red you. It don't red like blood. People have resorted into every kind of alternative. Cooking gas. All right. You still have money to buy cooking gas. Oh, rich man. Don't worry. Very soon, you will start using the firewood. Abi, Eronuku told me that our forefather didn't cook with gas. All this nonsense. Let me tell you. So Nigeria doesn't have all this. We don't have this kind of money. All right. Let's use firewood. Firewood in flat. Must you live inside flat? Did your parents live inside a flat? Did your grandparents, did our forefathers live inside flat? They lived very, very long life in their own small house, and they raised us there. All of us should go back to that life. Ronukus are advising people that way. Go and do CNG. I drove my car from Abuja to Lagos. Only 3,000 naira CNG. I bought. 3,000 naira CNG. Do you know how much it always cost me to drive from Abuja to Lagos? It's about 45,000. Do you know how much it's going to cost me now? It's about 120,000 naira to buy fuel. Now, you know how much it costs when I change to CNG? 3,000 naira. I'm telling you this thing. See, we don't have all this money for people to be living large. Thank you, Jare Ashiwaju. Thank you, Ashiwaju, for showing us that Nigeria is broke and we must live within our means. You must live within your means, but these criminals are not living within their means. They are not driving CNG cars. They are not. Say if you go to airports now, Eronuku said that too. Eronuku said those who usually go to airport, they are mostly Yahoo boys or people who do money rituals. Today, it's easier now. We can now see that there's no traffic at the airport because majority of them now, they do not have any means of doing Yahoo. Kind of like Omo Baba. They said the number of ships that comes to Nigeria, they've reduced. The number of flights that comes to Nigeria or leaves Nigeria, they have reduced. The number of local flights in Nigeria, they have reduced. And pilots are losing their jobs too. Okay, how do you think airlines in Nigeria, the flight that is meant to go at 9 a.m., they postpone it to 12 noon. They postponed it again to 3 p.m. They postponed it to 6 p.m. They finally postponed it to 11 p.m. at night. Because for the whole day, now only 3 people buy tickets. How you want to do at the airline? How do you expect to kind of survive in that environment? And now, some of them are now planning to start traveling from Abuja to Lagos in a chartered armored car, armored bus to avoid kidnappers. Let us go and look for armored buses so that the kidnappers can shoot us instead of going to go and pay 250,000 naira. A flight from Calabar to Abuja, a flight from Lagos to Abuja, Calabar to Lagos, or Lagos to Enugu. Instead of paying 200,000 naira, let us go and look for armored cars that will take us and collect 80,000 naira, 100,000 naira. You will save money. People are now kind of like devising means of meanwhile, you are watching Nigeria implode economically. This is what is happening. Nigeria is imploding economically. Businesses are going to continue to die. But to the Ronukus, this is the real life. Time for fake life is over. Time for fake life is over. And I return, if you are, Baba, you'll be rich man. If you go and buy tickets in Nigeria now that you want to fly to Abuja and fly back to Lagos, you spend like about 400,000 naira. Hey! 400,000 for flight that is less than an hour. Everything ti daru, everything ti baje, everything ti dojuru. There are people that being told that this is the real deal. Thiefnubu's policies reform is working. Businesses are dying. You are looking at everything. They say if you go to some of these malls in Lagos, you will think Nigeria is at war. So people are being careful not going out. It's like people are just staying home. Hey? Even the bosses that are still trying to walk and pick people up and all of that, they can tell you what it is like now. Economic tidaru. You just set that up the northern Nigeria. In fact, let me show you the video of their meeting. The meeting of their sultan, the meeting of their governors, talking about their situation. Watch.
The realities of the day. As we speak today, most of our northern states are in darkness due to vandalization of electricity transmission infrastructure. This not only underscores the vulnerability of critical infrastructure, but also the need to build additional transmission lines.
Let me use this opportunity to commend our dear President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, for reinvigorating the war against terrorists, bandits, the establishment of a joint military command and launching of Operation Fansanyama are clear demonstrations of the federal government's commitment to decisively tackle the multidimensional challenges of insecurity confronting the North.
Then the Sultan of Sokoto and the Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa shared their experiences, emphasizing the need to strengthen cooperation among the northern leaders as well as all stakeholders involved to effectively address the issues.
One point I didn't hear was the establishment of the Almajiri and out-of-school children commissioned by the federal government, which we 100% supported, and the leader of that team had already been with us and we've discussed. I think we must include it in what we are going to discuss, because the issue of out-of-school children and Almajiri,
the realities of the day.
That is their situation. But fair enough, they are already praising thiefnubu for his fight against terrorism. The fight against terrorism that finally led to the vandalization of your power line. Because the government houses, palaces, they are getting supply of petroleum, diesel. They are not paying or buying. Yeah, government houses have the supply. They have what's that name they give to their own reservoir of this product. They have a name for it. Yeah, they always go there to deliver massive tanker of diesel, petrol. Yeah, government houses across Nigeria. They don't buy with their money. They just get the supply among the privileges of the office. Politicians have access to this fuel. Depends on your ranking, so to say. It's only the common people, the normal people out there. People that cannot, imagine you having a cabi and you cannot afford. You can't afford to buy petroleum to kind of go and work with it. It's no longer profitable. You have Okada that you are using to work and feed your family. Now you can't even fuel it to go and work. It's no longer profitable. So people have been boxed to the worst corner ever as we speak, or to the Ronokus. It is thiefnubu's reform working. And everybody must accept the fact that Nigeria is a poor country that is living fake life. And this is the real life now. Everybody should embrace it. How? How? I want to feel sorry. And I actually do, I empathize with people, honestly. Because there are those who did their best to make sure that this never happened. They did all they could. Some of them got killed in an effort to stop this APC. But look at everybody today. To those of you living in the diaspora, you can tell where this is also like, where this shoe is currently pinching you, right? I mean, pinching you. Everybody, they feel the amount of money you have to spend now to keep your loved ones off at the hunger table, hunger charts right now. Your friends, your loved ones. Everybody is feeling it. Everybody is collecting it as we speak. So maybe those are the ones who are now living the fake life too. So those of us who still send money to our loved ones, because we would not want them to end up robbing a truck that fell off on the road, or scooping a fuel, because the situation don't red for everybody. I saw a video of people scooping fuel spilled in the water. I didn't bring you the video, but I don't know if some of you have seen it too. There is this spillage from a vessel, and it was all over the water. I'm talking about a big river, sort of. And people carry their canoe, and they're scooping it. Water and petrol. They are using cloth to scoop fuel from water. Hey, I don't know how long people are going to really survive it. But you know that December is not here yet. December is just about 2 months away. Let me know my last. Tell me about it now. You know what that means? They say when the going gets tough, then only the tough gets going. Now the tough we get food for belly. It don't red. And people are passing through a lot. They have never seen this before. That is, people have always been complaining that there is no money and all of that. Some people are buying cars. At least some people are buying some people are building houses. Hey, you're not paying attention, no. So if you are seeing some people who are still spending money going to a club and all of that stuff, you are not looking at the larger picture here. Nigeria has always have poor people, no doubt. I mean, I lived through the austerity measure. I've been a SAP period of Babangida, including the time of Abacha, when we were using sawdust to cook. That was the very tough time for my own childhood. I won't forget that. But not be when you get food to cook, you go use sawdust cook. Abacha stove. The ones that you have to put sawdust in what do you call it, like a big tin like that, and you put a bottle in the middle of it, and then you fill it with a sawdust, and you get a small space opening here. And then I lived through that. I had to go and get the sawdust from my mom. Dry sawdust. Wood shavings. That's what we call it. Wood shavings. Yeah, we also lived through the time of the adulterated kerosene. God bless you. When kerosene was exploding and people were burning like that in that same place. We've been through it as well. But from what I have seen so far, it has never been this bad. Ever. This is just the beginning. That's scary. So today, they have, they themselves are on the edge because they believe that there are some of you encouraging the military to come and take over. Even though me, I no support that kind of thing, but military could be the worst. Whatever this is. Even though some people are saying that, my cannot be worse than this. This is, you don't know, you don't even understand. This is like unbelievable, Baba. I said, well, I do have an idea, but sometimes if you don't experience it, you will never agree. Remember when people said that there's nobody that can be worse than Boko Haram? Remember? Yeah, people said that. Boko Haram was so bad. It was so bad that people started calling it from the change to change. Next level to next evil, next devil. That's how bad Boko Haram was. But within 18 months, today, people now believe that, yes, in fact, there can be worse than Boko Haram. There can be worse government than Boko Haram. Now you have it. Even though they are using propaganda to make you feel like now you get problem. Nigeria no hard. Now you know just get patience. Now you know they hard working. You're supposed to be working hard. Hard working for on what? Huh? I lived through the time when you have to eat 101, 001, 011, or 010. That means you have a breakfast, you won't have lunch, you won't have dinner, or you won't have breakfast, you won't have a lunch, or you have dinner. Here you get. Some of us were so young. Yeah, we're so young to be subjected to that, but I can imagine what children, young people are facing now. Do you know that the real victim of a failed government, of this poverty, they are children? The children of these, adults, these parents that can't feed their kids good meal. I was talking to Yakufo, I think it was 2 days or 3 days ago. I was talking to her and she said she had this lady in my hometown. And the lady told her that her children, they are fasting. And we're talking about children of ages between 2 and 7, 4 kids. The youngest 2, the oldest about 7 or 8. And she said she's teaching them how to fast. How can you be teaching children how to fast? Fast for what? You are teaching them fasting. Fasting and prayer. Are you mad? It's almost like running a charity, by the way. They are using my money to run a charity. Because to me, I'm like, they said a bag of rice is so and so. Okay, I will increase your allowance, so please, just buy a bag. A bag should be enough for all of you for a month. How many are they? They are just there 4. They can't finish a bag of rice a month. But they always have to buy a bag every month because there are so many families that surround her. She doesn't have much money to share, but she would have to just go inside the house and take spaghetti, some rice, some curry, and just pack it for them and say, yeah, take this, go and feed the kids. How many people, how many families are currently teaching their children fasting? Children fasting because they can't feed them 3 square meals. Now, nobody is even looking at their diet anymore. Just eat anything you see. Eh? What about those who are on serious life-saving medication? I mean, I'm just trying to kind of picture the whole scenario. Babako is so ugly and scary. So they tell you that people are dying. It's true. Eh? Imagine somebody who is treating some terminal diseases like cancer. Eh? It's a serious one, by the way. Or those who are dealing with other, immunodeficiency diseases that they have to kind of have supplement this, supplement that, and they have to use different medication. Like those who are suffering from asthma, that they have to buy inhaler for 40,000 naira. Inhaler that used to be how much? 1,500 naira. Under Bokwari, 7,500 naira. Under thiefnubu, over 40,000 naira for inhaler. Papa, you makuku be me now. You couldn't last. Imagine people who have to choose between medication and food. Like the what was that again? Petroleum poverty, gas poverty in the UK, where people had to choose between eating or heating their homes in the winter. People were poor that they can't heat their home, they can't pay for gas because they need to feed. Children are the real victims. of these failed criminals in Nigeria, this failed government. Children are the victims. You don't see them, but they are there. I was a child, a little boy. I can tell you that I had my own fair share of poverty. I did have my own fair share. It's not really a good thing. Adults are struggling to feed their children, and most of them can't. Those children, they are just there wondering. Like the one I just told you about, the children will go to bed. They're not looking or expecting to be fed. No? Like children, they are aware when there is food in the house and when there is no food. Some will cry their eyes out. And while they are crying, they will fall asleep. And that's it. That should worry you. It should. But no, the Ronukus are not worried. If not, they themselves are victims. So the Ronukus, they will come around and tell you that thiefnubu say me you go born. And you say me you go born that you can't take care of them. My friend, let us tell ourselves the truth, Jari. Our people, they like to born and born and born. But they have all had their family and children before Tinubu came, and look at what happened to them. They've had their children before Bokwari came, but look at what happened to them. So it's like somebody saying that you should kill your children because this government is going to show you shege. They're supposed to make your life better, not worse. I don't know. I just feel so kind of like my stomach kind of turns. I don't know, maybe because I just remember my own childhood trauma of lack and want. And then I'm trying to kind of imagine what it is like for millions of children right now in that place. And there is no hope for them. There's nothing that's going to change. Some of them will make it to their 5th birthday. Some will make it to their 10th birthday. And it is not the fault of theirs, but look at it. Politicians, all they care about is the next election, not the next generation. I saw them in Ondo, the same APC, Ebekebe. Listen.
Mobilize members of our party, mobilize members of public to ensure that we win this election. We are here to encourage you. We are here to motivate you. We are here to facilitate you. We are here to create an environment so that the election will be free and fair. The election will be smooth, and the election is, by the grace of God, it will be victorious to our great party. Our governor of Ondo State Assistant Governor and the incoming governor, by the grace of God, we appreciate all the reforms that he has introduced. We appreciate for him to continue with this good network of programs and projects being executed in the state. He is providing a progressive leadership. And progressive leadership, you know, is the symbol of progressive ideology. We are here on the stage to assure you that this program will continue so that he will continue providing, mobilize.
You know what? I want to say thank you to you for spending your evening with me. I don't feel like continuing, okay? I will see you again tomorrow. So please, you all should have a good night from here.
kámọ̀ tó jódodo.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Máyégún Diary politico.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ tó dódòdó.
Máyégún Diary Náídì number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀, Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni
mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ tún ra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.